There's a little bit of the basics about laying your canopy out, what risers to hold, and the essentials of forward and back starts. First thing you do is when you get to a potential launch site is to establish which way the wind's blowing. Always remember, you take off into the wind and you land into the wind. One part of your wing has got cells at the end, which is called the leading edge. The other edge is called the trailing edge. The cells have to inflate into the wind and they will face the direction you are going to take off in. So let's presume we were going to take off this way. In other words, the wind was blowing towards us. I'm going to lay out the canopy with the leading edge of the cells facing the way that I'm going. Alright, so as I pull it out, you'll see this is my leading edge. In other words, that's the undersurface. As the canopy inflates upwards, this will be the top surface. So what we do is we pull both ends of the wing out. And then we separate the risers. We've got two riser systems. One goes to the right wing, one goes to the left wing. Okay, so and these riser systems in turn are made up of A lines, which of course go to the leading edge. Behind that you've got B lines. Behind that you've got C lines. So all I'm really doing now is I'm just separating the A lines from the B lines and from the C lines. Okay, that's my right riser complete. If we do the same with the left riser, my A risers are separated from my B lines, which in turn are separated from the C lines. So all I'm really doing is I'm pulling the lines free from the ones above it. The C lines are separated from the D. Just remember, not all wings have A, B, C, D, some have A and B. And then in turn, some canopies, the A risers might be separated into two risers themselves. One of the lines going to the edge of the wing, and the other one's predominantly operating in the middle of the wing. Okay, so those are our risers separated. Let's just look at a proper layout now. So all we do is we sprint the wing out as best we can. And then the correct layout, whether you're really doing a forward or a back start, is to walk to the center of the wing, take hold of it, and walk back. What that's essentially done is created a horseshoe shape. Now the reason we have a horseshoe shape is to ensure, especially when we do a forward launch, that the center of the canopy inflates first and then it inflates outwards. We don't particularly want the outside of the wing to inflate first, because if it did, it would kink in the middle. If we have the front of the canopy inflating, it'll come up first and the rest of the wing will inflate outwards. Now, if we just look at the center of our wing there, and I pull on this, you can see all the lines are taut, but the middle lines are tauter than the rest. So it's going to inflate from the middle outwards. That's just called your horseshoe layout, and that's how you're supposed to lay out your wing. Alright. As far as risers are concerned, this is the direction it will fly in as we take off. Here's your toggle, and this particular wing has something called trim tabs, which is this. Alright, when it's up, in other words, it's loose, your wing is flying at its fastest. If we want to slow it down, for example for thermaling or for assisting in landing, while we're in the air, we pull down on this. And what it does, it progressively takes down your A's, your B's, and possibly your C's, depending on your configuration of your wing. It wouldn't help if it just took down the A risers, because what that would do, normally you'd be flying like that. As we put the trim tabs on, it slows it down even more. I don't know what the fuck to say. I forgot what I was. Okay. Let's go through the basis of clipping into your risers. Once you've done a preliminary flight check. In other words, your correct layout. Your A lines are separated from your B lines, which are separated from your D. Make sure your trim tabs are off. In other words, this trim tab on would be like that, off would be loose. Okay. If you try and pull your wing up with your trim tabs on, it's going to be flying slowly. In other words, it's going to be flying like that instead of an angle of attack like that. If you try and pull it up and it's dragging, in other words with your trim tabs on, you might find with a forward launch you just never get the canopy up. Alright, so our lines are free, we've got a nice layout. When we clip in, we always clip in the direction that we're flying. In other words, this is my takeoff direction, and that's how the risers will be situated when I'm flying. So that's exactly how I'm going to clip in. Alright, so we put it over our shoulder, we clip in. So in other words, my risers are not twisted, everything is loose and in the direction of flight. And we do the same for the left side. Okay, our risers are free, trim tabs are off, clip in the direction that we're flying. Right, let's just move the stirrup out the way. So, this is the configuration that I will use if I'm doing a forward start. In other words, a forward start is, I'm here, there's very little wind, I'm clipped in, which I'll show you just now. I pull it up and I keep going. Alright,